Most people live their whole lives small, operating within a narrow comfort zone, even though they could be earning, achieving, and living 10 times bigger than they currently are. Have you ever felt stuck, like no matter how hard you grind, the level of success you see others achieving feels like it is locked behind a door you don't have the key to? It is a common frustration, but the reality is that the ceiling you are hitting isn't made of glass, it is made of your own perceptions. Today, I'm going to show you the fundamental mindset shift that can change everything about your life, starting right now. This is not just about working harder, it is about expanding the container of what you believe is possible for yourself. The concepts we are diving into today come from the timeless wisdom of David J. Schwartz and his landmark book, The Magic of Thinking Big. This book has served as a blueprint for millions of high achievers because it moves beyond motivational fluff and provides an actionable psychological framework. Thinking big is not a mystical power, it is a practical tool. Consider the story of a young insurance salesman who was struggling to make ends meet. He was talented, but he viewed himself as just another guy in a suit trying to get by. After applying the principles of thinking big, he stopped looking for small commissions and started pitching to major corporations. Within a year, his income tripled, not because the economy changed, but because his vision of his own value changed. You can trust these insights because they are rooted in the basic psychology of how the human brain processes goals and obstacles. To understand how this works, we must first define the difference between small thinking and big thinking. Small thinking is characterized by limiting beliefs, a constant fear of failure, and the pursuit of incremental, safe goals. A small thinker looks at a massive challenge and sees only the risks involved. In contrast, big thinking is about setting bold goals, maintaining confidence in the face of uncertainty, and adopting an action-oriented mindset. Think of it this way, small thinkers see the hill and worry about the steepness of the climb. Big thinkers see the mountain and focus on the spectacular view from the top while they start climbing. Take a look at someone like Elon Musk. He didn't just want to build a better car, he wanted to revolutionize the entire energy industry and reach Mars. Because he thought big from the beginning, he attracted the resources, talent, and energy required to make those dreams a reality. The first major mindset shift required to make this real is to believe you can succeed. This is the believe it, achieve it principle. When you truly believe you can do something, your mind finds the ways to do it. If you believe a task is impossible, your brain will actually seek out reasons to justify that failure. To build this muscle, start with small wins that reinforce your confidence. Every time you complete a difficult task or hit a minor milestone, you are training your brain to see yourself as a winner. This creates a psychological momentum that makes the bigger goals seem much more attainable. Next, you must cure yourself of excusitis, which is the chronic habit of making excuses for why you aren't where you want to be. People often blame their health, their intelligence, their age, or simply bad luck. Schwartz argues that these are just shields used to protect the ego from the fear of trying. If you think you are too old, remember that many of the world's most successful businesses were started by people in their 50s and 60s. If you think you aren't smart enough, remember that persistence and attitude almost always outperform raw IQ. To move forward, you must ruthlessly replace every excuse with a direct action. Instead of saying why it won't work, ask yourself how you can make it work. The third shift is learning to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. Most people are experts at identifying why something will fail. They look at a new business idea and see the competition, the costs, and the risks. A big thinker looks at the same idea and sees the market gap, the potential for innovation, and the eventual reward. A great exercise for this is to sit down and write exactly what would be possible for you if failure wasn't a factor. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do tomorrow? This clarifies your true ambition and strips away the artificial barriers your mind has constructed. Fourth, you must act boldly. Thinking big without acting big is just daydreaming. There is a powerful compounding effect that comes with making bold decisions over time. Fortune favors the brave, not because of luck, but because bold actions force you to grow and adapt. When you take a big leap, you are forced to develop the skills necessary to land safely. Hesitation, on the other hand, breeds doubt and allows fear to grow. If you have a big idea, take the first step immediately, even if it feels uncomfortable. The discomfort is a sign that you are expanding your boundaries. Finally, you should consider surrounding yourself with big thinkers. Your social circle has a massive impact on your mindset. If you hang out with people who complain about their jobs and doubt their potential, you will eventually adopt those same patterns. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly striving for more, their ambition will become your new normal. This is the power of association. Seeking out mentors or even a peer group of motivated individuals can provide the external pressure and inspiration needed to keep your thinking at a high level. To see how these shifts work in the real world, let's look at the story of J.K. Rowling. Before the success of Harry Potter, she was a single mother living on benefits, facing repeated rejections from publishers. A small thinker would have given up after the third or fourth no, concluding that the world didn't want their story. But Rowling thought big. She believed in the value of her vision and kept pushing until she found a publisher who saw what she saw. Her breakthrough didn't come from a change in her writing style, but from her refusal to accept a small life. Similarly, think of Steve Jobs. He was famously ousted from the company he started. Instead of shrinking away, he used that setback to think even bigger, eventually returning to Apple and leading it to become the most valuable company in the world. These stories show that the struggle is often the prerequisite for the transformation. When you decide to think big, you are deciding that your future is worth the temporary pain of the struggle. If you want to start implementing these success habits today, I have a few specific actions for you. First, set one big, scary goal for the next 6 months. This should be something that makes your heart race a little when you think about it. Writing it down makes it real. Second, practice replacing one negative thought with a big thinking affirmation every single day. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," immediately correct it to, "I will find a way to make this happen." This is it. Third, take one bold action this week that scares you but moves you toward your vision. It could be making a difficult phone call, applying for a position you feel underqualified for, or starting that project you've been putting off. I highly recommend tracking your progress in a journal. Seeing your mindset shift on paper helps to reinforce the new neural pathways you are building. Watch out for common mistakes. The biggest risk is thinking big but not doing. Big ideas take energy. Maintaining a minimum wage hobbyist work ethic cannot lead to a $1 million enterprise. Another temptation is comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Discouragement often follows. You should see your own route and growth. Combining big picture thinking with daily progress is the key. Break big ambitions into smaller ones, but keep your eye on the prize. Do action now if you're ready to stop playing little and embrace the wonder of thinking large. Share your biggest goal below. It must be spoken to be real. It may feel vulnerable, but sharing it is the first step to success. If you found these ideas helpful, like this video to help us reach more life improvement seekers. To join our High Achievers group and learn more about attitude adjustments and success habits, subscribe. Remember to believe you can succeed, cure your excusitis, think in possibilities, act fearlessly, and take enormous action every day. Small thinking limits you to what ifs and could have been. Your future starts with big thinking. It connects you to your goals. Before bed, ask yourself, what can I start thinking greater about right now? Stop hiding your biggest ideas. The world wants them. Your only restriction is your dreams. Think big out there.